This is a review for the quiz, and the first part of the quiz will be very similar to these first three questions, which is actually section 2.1. And what was 2.1? It was just words in algebra, and the only difference from chapter 1 to chapter 2 is that in this chapter we threw in the word is, right? Or equals, or is equal to, which makes it an equation, not just an expression. So if you read through this carefully, it says 3 times r is less than 15. So 3 times r, you're going to write that as 3r, because that's really 3 times r. If you think about what's happening between the 3 and the r, there's multiplication right there. So that's really 3 times r. It says less than 15 equals 6. So this is where it gets a little confusing. Less than implies a switch. If I say 1 less than your age, you're not going to put 1 take away your age. You're going to put your age take away 1. So maybe I should do this. The 3 times r is in black ink. It's 3r. The less than implies a subtraction, but the 15, I'm not going to write that second. The less than implies a subtraction and a switch. So it's going to be 15 first, and then the subtraction, and then the 3r. At the very end, it says equals 6. So let's put equals 6. And that's the correct answer right there. The correct equation represented with that sentence. Once again, a lot of people, the mistake, and this is why I'm doing this video right here. So this does not happen on tomorrow's quiz. The words less than imply a switch. Okay? So you have 3r less than 15. The 3r and the 15 need a switch. All right, the 3r and the 15 need a switch. So the 15 came first, the 3r came second, and of course it is subtraction. Make sure you do that on the quiz tomorrow. Number 2, 32 divided by y is equal to, let's first start with 32 divided by y. Okay, 32 divided by y. That's simply going to be the number 32 divided by y. Okay, is equal to, I wonder what that means. There it is. Okay, it's equal to what? To the product of 3 and y, and then a minus 4 at the end. Okay, so what does product mean? Multiply. So product means multiply. So it's equal to the multiplication of something and something. And what is that something and something? This is the product of 3 and y. So let's actually write 3 times y, which is just 3y. And then at the very end, it has a minus 4. So let's slap on that minus 4, and we're done. That's your equation. 32 over y equals 3y minus 4. Now, the first part of the quiz is just write the equation. Later on the quiz, you might have one where I say write it and solve. Okay? Moving on to number 3. Number 3, it says 3/4 of w plus 5. Well, what is 3/4 of w? It is simply 3/4 times w. That's 3/4 of w. Do not write the w on the bottom. That would be incorrect. Okay, the w has to be out here or up on top with the 3. Do not write the w on the bottom. That would be incorrect. So we have 3/4 of w plus 5. So the plus 5, I'm going to write it in black, plus 5. It says is means equals. Now over here it says 1/2 of w. So 1/2 of w is 1/2 times w. Just like if I say what's half of 20, that's really 1/2 times 20. Okay, and then at the very end, increased by 9. We all know that increased means add 9. Now number 4, we finally have one where the instructions say translate the sentence to an equation, then solve it. Okay, so right here we have 5/6 of a number is negative 5/9. So of course we're going to write 5/6 of a number. I want to put x, doesn't have to be x, could be n, is equals negative 5/9. Negative 5/9. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people mess up on this question because I always say whenever you want to get rid of a fraction, you multiply by the denominator. This really says divided by 6. And I always say I'll get rid of the divided by 6 by multiplying by 6. However, in this case, since we have a fraction here and a fraction over here, what I would like to do is not only get rid of the 6 by multiplying by 6, but I'm actually going to get rid of the entire fraction, the whole thing, by multiplying by the reciprocal of 5/6, which is 6 over 5. Does that make sense? So when I multiply by 6 over 5, what I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. On the left side, yeah, the 6's cancel, the 5's cancel. You have a nice, beautiful x equals. On the right side, the 5's cancel, and the 6 and the 9 could be reduced by 3. And if you reduce 6 by 3, you get 2. Reduce 9 by 3, you get 3. So on the right side, you have a 2 left over up on top, a 3 on the bottom, and let's not forget about that negative sign. So it is x equals negative 2/3 as your final answer right there. So we got rid of it with one step. You could have gotten rid of the 6 by multiplying both sides by 6, but then it gets actually a little more confusing because of the fractions. So I want to compare that to number 6, as you could see down here. On this one, like let's say I had a 5 over 27 with the g out on the side. Then yeah, maybe instead of having a 5 over 27, you'd multiply by 27 over 5 so you could get it to cancel out. But right here, there's no number up here. So it's not really necessary to multiply by the reciprocal. It's just as, I mean, well, technically you are multiplying by the reciprocal, but right here, all you got to do is multiply by 27, right? You don't have anything on the bottom, so it just cancels out. And what you do to one side, you do to the other side, multiply by 27, right? It is true that technically it's over 1, right? If you want to put the 1, you don't have to. On the right side, you could multiply 2 times 27, get 54, 9 times 1, get 9, and then 54 divided by 9 would be 6. Or you could cancel first the 9 and the 27. You might think that they have 3 in common, but even better, they have a 9 in common. In other words, you could reduce 27 by 9, and that'll give you 3, and you could reduce 9 by 9, that'll give you 1. So you really have a 2 times 3, which is 6. So your final answer right there is G equals 6. Like a G. Okay. Let's move on to number 5. Going backwards to number 5. Anybody, how do I get rid of that minus 13? Divide by minus 13 or negative 13. That'll cancel it out. Boom, boom. But then again, what I do to one side, I must do to the other, minus 13. The goal is to get z by itself, right? The goal is to get z by itself. So on the original problem, you have negative 13 times z. So to get rid of the times, you do the opposite, which is divide by negative 13. In order for something to cancel with the numerator and denominator, it has to be the same exact thing. So that's a negative 13 up there. That's why we divide by a negative 13 down here. Final answer will be z equals 3. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. Moving on to the last one. It doesn't really matter if you have a variable on the left side of the equal sign or the right side of the equal sign, as long as you get it by itself on one side. So on number 7, I want to get rid of that 71 by subtracting 71 and subtracting 71. So this will cancel out on the right side. Bring down the equal sign, bring down the m, and when you do 16 and 71, both of them negative, it's like you owing $16 and you're owing $71, you're going to owe a lot. You're going to owe a total of $87. It's going to be a negative 87. So I would rewrite my answer as m equals negative 87. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the majority of the quiz tomorrow. However, we are going to have two-step equations, which is what we're going to go over today in class. So this is like part 1 of the review for tomorrow's quiz. Hopefully we watch this video and get prepared for it.